It is the craziest thing whatsoever. I'll go and look, let's say another platform, not the one that I'm on now, but a different platform searching for something. And I will look for easy, quick tips on, let's say, a baking matter of some sort, of a recipe. And the title, let's say, may say easy in it, right? And I'm like, there are a gazillion components to the recipe. And I say to myself, with all of these recipe components, where does that person, the creator of that recipe, believe that that's easy? I'm sorry. I just don't. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Jan. Welcome to another episode on my channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Why do we complicate so many things? Now, maybe to that person or persons, whoever they are in general in life, in their heart of hearts, that's easy. But I don't find it easy to have to add so many things to something. Also, because I'm also looking at things, maybe they're not looking at it like I would, for example, at a frugal living level. I look at everything at a frugal living level. Now, maybe that sounds a little strange, but I just do. I guess that's the way I've been wired the last few years. But I have to share with you, I was not born frugal. Frugality and the frugal living idea is a choice. Now, some people, of course, were naturally born into it. Maybe they had, very frugal parents and things of that nature. I wouldn't say my parents were either extreme in any way. So I would never consider them very frugal. I would never consider them irresponsible. No, definitely not irresponsible. Very responsible people. My father, for example, he was a stickler about punctuality. As such was my mom. Also about keeping your word. If keep your word with the folks, if you will. And these were amazing, wonderful, wonderful things that I learned at a very early age. And looking back, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would say that my parents were like moderately frugal, but definitely not in an extreme way. And when I was a kid, I really didn't care about frugality. I was a kid, But then when you get older, you realize, when you start making that money that my mother and father always said did not grow from trees, and they were absolutely right. But once you make that money, right, and you working and you doing everything, and you realize the time, effort, and energy it takes to earn that money, I'm not just going to throw it around on purpose. We've all made mistakes, and this is the whole point of this message. And it might sound like I'm jumping from here, there, and everywhere, but I'm really not. I'm really not. And it's Monday, and I know you want to get to work and do whatever you have to do. So I'm keeping it as briefly as I can. Always know this, that everything done well, even if it's in a little bit of an amount, if it is done well, and it is done consistently, like let's say every day. If you do one thing and do it well, consistently, doesn't have to be all day long. It could be for a short period of time. For example, like exercising or choosing to eat better food each meal every single day, or reducing your sugar intake, or increasing your activity level. Done well, a little bit, or saving money, or deciding better decisions for your money and allocating your funds in better places than in the past. It all adds up. And this is my encouragement to everyone today. When you embark on the frugal living lifestyle, I don't believe anyone is born frugally. They see decisions around them, they make their own choices, and then ultimately they have to remember that it is all about choices. And since we live in a world of choices, I choose frugality. Why? Because I want to. Why? Because it makes absolute sense. Why? Because paid bills gives me peace of mind. Why? Because I like to stockpile little by little. And that's a pure example of doing something small but doing it consistently. And at the end of the day, week, or month, you're going to look back and say, wow, I'm really glad. Now, I started before I go. I was never one to like purchase a lot of baking supplies because I'm not a baker, but many is the time that a recipe may call for things like confectionery sugar, okay, for example, or miniature chocolate chips. So every stockpile, I said, I want to get something towards the baking arena. And that's what I did. And slowly but surely, the walnuts came in, the mini chocolate chips came in. I like to be able to whip something up if I get that phone call that I'm going to have, a visitor. Maybe I want to make them a special treat, or the grandkids, or anyone, or my daughter, anybody, or a friend, to know it's there. I didn't buy it all at once. I noticed that slowly but surely I'm building it up. As a matter of fact, I'm excited to say that I'm actually going to purchase some brown sugar in the not so distant future. And all the things I recently did with all purpose flour. It's a learning experience. Open up our own world. The world of frugal choices is not a limited world at all. In fact, it is a world full of choices.